Uh-oh, 3 more Grouchy Pets cards. Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am playing with the Grouchy Pets again from CC Designs and the coordinating dies. I heat emboss these with these Ranger fluorescent embossing powders from my friend Eileen. Thanks so much, Eileen. And for my first card, I'm just jumping right in here. I am using these Tim Holtz dies. I wanted to cut out the numbers 1 through 9. So today I am playing with just the idea of these pets being grouchy about different things. So this first one is like a nap card, which the day I made this, I really needed a nap. So I cut that out of some scrap pieces of a paper pad that I had from Not Too Shabby. And then I'm using this embossing folder. I decided, because it has like a moon and stars and clouds, it'd be great for like a dreamy embossed background. I wish I would have grabbed a darker purple. This one's just too pale, but I did rub the back of it with the ink and got a little bit of color. And now I'm just going to lay out my numbers, and I lay out the numbers 1 through 8. I love the size of these numbers. I think it's just so awesome. So in case you're wondering what size of paper am I working with, it's an A2 size. This one's actually just slightly smaller. It's 4 by 5 1/4. Because I like the placement of these letters, I'm going to bring in my Glad press and seal and then my bone folder and make sure it's pressed down and gently, slowly peel up the back here so I can add some liquid glue. And this is how I will adhere all of these numbers in place. Now I'm going to use my grid mat and line this up because I know the size of the card front that I'm putting this on. So I'm just using my grid mat here and lining that up exactly where I wanted it so that I could then place this on top. And I got it pretty straight, pretty good, right where I wanted it for the most part. Now for where some of these numbers overlap one another, I will have to go in and add some additional glue, but that's no problem. It's always really obvious where those spots are. I brought in another piece of 6 by 6 paper, and this one I'm cutting to 4 1/4, and I'm leaving at 6. And with this strip, because it's double-sided, I'll just flip it over. I'm going to trim it down to 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch. And I'm going to be adding this because I'm making this a 5 by 7 card, but I'm still trying to use my 6 by 6 paper. So I'm just going to be adding this to the top and the bottom to reduce the margin size. So if you saw my last Grumpy Pets video, you saw how I've been using my scoreboard to line pieces like this up so I can make sure that they're even and straight. And this hack is really working for me. I don't know if you guys have given this a try yet, but I definitely recommend it. Maybe you were doing it before I ever said anything. I took this piece to my sewing machine, and the stitches actually had nothing to do with keeping the paper together. In fact, I stitched them a little far down, but I'll make adjustments. I'm putting glue on the back, which will hold the stitches right in place, and adhering this down to my 5 by 7 card base. And this is where I realized that they're just a little too close, so I trimmed off the tiniest bit of this piece so I could glue it down and you could still see the stitching. That's the whole point, right? I hope you guys had a great weekend. I sure did. My brother and Lily came into town, and it was so wonderful. Okay, so I went to my computer and I typed up my sentiment. On the front, it says 9 lives, ? And on the inside, I put, I don't know about 9 lives, but I need 9 naps. And I thought that would be humorous and fun for someone who loves cats and naps and things like that. So yeah, we had such a wonderful visit. And Eileen, by the way, I got to give Lily her inks in person, and she's super excited. So thank you for your generosity, your kindness. It was definitely felt and appreciated. Okay, let's move on to card number 2. This one I'm again using scraps. So I don't know about you guys, but I really like to keep my scraps with my paper pads. So if that way, if I think of a particular paper pad that I want to use, like in this design, I can use all the scraps first, and it just gives you more to work with than if you cut into a paper pad and then you keep your scraps separate, and then they're just kind of all mixed up, and that can be kind of hard to use and overwhelming at times. So I definitely suggest it as a storage technique to keep your patterned paper scraps together with the original paper pad. Unless it's all used up, then congratulations, you did it. I cut up a bunch of paper here and I didn't use it, and I forgot to edit it out. So don't worry about that. The pink paper is not going to be used. But I am going to just do some really simple, it's not even weaving at all. I'm just layering paper here. So I'm just taking these 1 inch by like 6 inch, and then I think these are 3/4 by 4 1/4, and just kind of layering these up. I will bring in my T ruler again just to help line things up for myself. And I didn't measure how far to the edge. I was just making sure I at least got it straight. So that was enough for me to be happy. I wish my T ruler would work going both ways, like that you could just flip it over, but it doesn't work like that. It's hard to explain. I won't go down that road, but I just wish it worked on both sides. I'll leave it at that. So I'm just laying these 3 pieces down first, and then I'm going to go back in with these scraps and lay them on top. Again, using my T ruler and not really worrying about the spacing. I think eyeballing it worked just fine. You could use your grid lines. If I had mine squared, I could have been using my grid lines and getting it measured out, but I just wasn't that concerned about it. So this card's super funny. This one, I went back to my computer and I typed, no one puts baby in the corner, and I put my poodle in the corner. She's not happy about it. I put a frame around her, had to box her in a little bit, make her really feel like she was in a corner. It's just fun to play with these Grouchy pets, and that's what, I had so much fun making them in a crafty way last week, and then this week I put them with things like naps and a movie quote, or and this one I'm doing a coffee themed card. So that's what really drew me to the stamp set, was that I felt like you could have a Grouchy pet regarding all kinds of different topics, and that would be the kind of stamp set that I would use time and again in my stash. I'm so excited to have this in my stash. You guys, it's still available at Not Too Shabby, and I don't think I told y'all this, but CC Designs has the best price on coordinating dies. They're $10. I love that about CC Designs. So it's just a really affordable way to get a stamp and die set. Here I am using a sentiment from Rabbit Hole Designs. They have the funniest coffee sentiments. So this one says, coffee first, scheme later. But I really wanted it to fit within this die that I had, this quote die. And I did trim it off here because it's just a little big. And then you notice I brought the part I trimmed off, I just scooted it over so I could get the same rounded corners, and it worked just fine. I probably could have put it all down a little bit, but it's all good. I I made it work. So here I'm using some vintage photo, and I am going to bring in a dirty paintbrush and have to fix that. And so finally I got cleaned up my paintbrush, and then just got vintage photo to splatter around to look like spilt coffee. And this is another not too shabby paper pad. So you guys, I'm digging into my stash. I'm using paper pads from kits that I've had in the past. I like to keep my kits together. And then that way, like in this situation, when I think about it, I can grab it. I've got whatever ephemera I might have left over, paper, stamps, and it's just great to have it all in one place. I'm using the same vintage photo and just inking around my quote. I thought that helped fill in some of the space a little bit more. And I'm going to just glue down the ephemera piece and the kitty who needs some coffee. I popped up the sentiment and just really love this card. They are missing something for me. They're missing like sequins, or enamel dots. But this is where I left them for the day. And I did, of course, do the insides of my cards. So let's take a closer look. This is my cat that needs some naps. I get it. I had to have one of those today myself. So this video is releasing on a Monday. I hope you guys are going to have a great Monday and week ahead. I don't have any more videos filmed for this week, but I will make some stuff for you guys. No one puts baby in the corner. This one just cracks me up. I don't know where it came from, but I'm glad it popped out of my head and became a card because I think it's very funny. And then this one's great too. Coffee first, schemes later. He looks like a scheming cat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a really great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.